Hey guys, it's Kate, and in this video I will show you how to draw clouds with soft pastels. I'm using for this exercise the Canson Mi Teintes paper. This is the rough side, and as I will not be adding any very minute detail to the work, this paper is enough for this kind of drawing. So the first thing I do, I take my blue and I start mapping out the areas where I will have my clouds. So this is called the negative drawing, where you are placing your color around the shapes that will take place in between these colors. So I'm looking at the reference of clouds, and this picture was taken on a sunny day, so the sky is quite blue. I'm using a cool blue for my sky at the moment, just to draw out the shapes of the clouds. And I'm using the pastel on its side. So I'm applying also light layers of this color towards the bottom as well. So you can see here on top the application is heavier compared to the application at the bottom. So now I will take a warmer blue and I will add it towards the top of my painting. And at the bottom I will add a lighter shade blue. So when you look at the horizon, we can also throw in some lights at the bottom. If we were to have the horizon approximately here, we could add some warms, like some pinks, into the mix, just to warm up the line of the horizon. Because usually when you look at your references, or when you look just outside, you will see that by the horizon the sky tends to warm up. So I'm adding a bit of pink to this. I will also add just a bit of white here at the bottom, just to lighten it up slightly, because I want the gradation to go from lightest into the darkest on the top for my sky. Okay, so now I can start blending everything in. I start with my lightest values, that is at the bottom here. And I'm going carefully around the edges of my clouds, not to go into the clouds themselves. Here I have, you see, there's a huge difference between this area and this area, so I need to lighten it up a bit, so as to have the transition from my lights into the darks gradual and even on all the surface of the sky. And I will add a bit of white as well, as I added there. So I can continue rubbing it in, and you can see that this here now, it looks very similar to this value. And now I can move upwards into my darker values. So now this color is quite intense, so this sky is quite intense, and I will add just a bit of lighter blue over the top, just to knock it back a bit. It will still stay darker at the top and lighter at the bottom, but it's just too bright for my liking. So now I'm gonna rub this next layer in. So this sky is already more pleasant, just a bit of more light blue here. So there, by mixing and matching the blues, you can create a sky. And just maybe a bit lighter here at the bottom. So there we go. We have a nice blue sky that is all smooth and even. And now we can start working on our clouds. For that, first I'm going to clean my hands. The first thing I do is I start out with my white and I outline those upper edges of the clouds. So I'm looking at my reference and I'm moving where I see the lightest edges on my clouds. I'm doing this because I'm using this sort of paper, the Mi Teintes paper. And if I were to put my darks and not save the lights, I would not be able to regain my whites anymore. Here I have my whites. I can blend them in slightly. But I'm not moving it too much around the color. My whites are in place. Just going to shake it off. And now I'm going to go in with my grays. I will be using first a very dark one. So this is the color of my gray. And I'm just going to map in lightly where my darkest areas are. And so as we have our clouds illuminated from this side, the bottom left side of the clouds will be darker. Now with a lighter gray, I'm going to add more definition to the shadows. So this is going to be the mid-tone value. And I will add a bit of blues. So this is a blue-gray, and I will add a hint of this in some of the areas. So now I'm going to blend everything in, going through from my lightest values and into the darkest ones. So the tone of this paper, it resonates very well with the sky, so it gives that warmth to the clouds that reflects from the ground. So it's a very good color to use for painting skies. So you can see here the clouds, they are quite translucent, and you can see this yellow coming through, which is quite nice, instead of adding yellow to it. So we have our cloud shapes almost ready. Now what I would like to do is I will take my white and I will define more the top edges of the clouds. So as you see, I'm moving my pastel in different directions, not to create the same strokes over and over in one direction only. And now I will take a bit more blue, I think, just to give a bit more depth to my clouds. Get in the shadow areas. So now we can leave it at that, or we can also blend it slightly. So what I'm doing is I'm tapping on the pastel. I'm not rubbing it in, I'm just tapping. Our soft clouds in soft pastels are all ready. If you would like to see more tutorials, you can check out my YouTube channel or my Patreon, where I do tutorials in real time and also some more detailed tutorials every week. And don't forget to like this video if you've enjoyed it. I would love to see your clouds as well, so you can tag me on Instagram or on Facebook. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye!